Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This episode of the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast is brought to you by the letter S. Yes, the letter S, as in Saudi Arabia shenanigans, as in SmackDown was actually good for once, as in superstar Billy Graham can suck my ass, and as in, let's just start the show because I'm salty as hell, you schmucks.
You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver. What the hell is that? Podcast.
Welcome. Yes, it's wonderful to be back. All right, fuck the Matt Hardy impressions. This is the P3 podcast, and yeah, I'm back after a week of absence. Tiger Bomb Tom here with the other three, the letter
Uppercut.
S. Schmucks. Fucking blustering beef. That's the next episode, brought to you by the letter B. God damn it, beef. Anyways, speaking of, there's Beef the Legend here. What's going on, Beef?
Won't you tell me how to get to Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Like I was doing good. I'm kind of like stuffy and like I got a lot of pressure between my ears, and I was feeling good. Then we started talking about wrestling, and I started getting real pissed off again. So I, ought to be a good one.
So pressure cooked beef. Got it. Next up, Alec Ransom. What's going on, Ransom? What's exciting with you?
Well, I tell you what, this podcast has started out underwhelming as usual.
Oh, we'll
Holy
get there.
Balls.
We'll get there. You just wait.
I'm disappointed in everyone. I'm especially disappointed in the world of wrestling. No, not wrestling. I'm disappointed in the world of WWE. And it's not a universe because, no, stop it. That's stupid. And I hate you all.
It's barely a galaxy at this point. It's like a planet cluster.
Nah, I'm out. I'm going home. Podcast is over. Show's over. Turn it off. Stop
Turn
listening.
it off!
Well, speaking of burning it down, so the last cohort, if he's there, I don't know. Poot the Bard, the reigning, defending,
don't give him
blah,
that. No,
blah,
he's
blah.
tardy.
Yeah,
Defending,
the worst tardiest. Oh god,
tardiest, so stupid. I'm Poot the Bard, baby.
Hey, listen. Number one, your voice. Listen. Number one, your voice is offensive. Number two, I'm doing important championship things you wouldn't understand there, Beef. So how about you shut your whore mouth? I'll be back.
I don't know if you understand
Salty.
what championship things mean.
Anywho, so let's thank another S word. Let's thank the sponsors. Yeah, let's thank the sponsors real quick. Ransom, you want to do that?
No.
He won't remember.
Wow.
Thank you to Tiger Bomb Tom and your casual gaming dad video face games.
The best corner of face games ever.
Go to the interrupting website, www.imalalwayslateinterruptingpeople.com/pootthebard. Fuck your face.
That's an expensive URL.
There it is again. There's still more interrupting. If only people knew how to politely podcast, this might be a half marginal show. Tiger Bomb Tom.
It's a shame it's not.
Oh my God, I'm done.
Oh my God, I missed this last week. Oh God. Wow. Well,
and another S. We want to thank Mr. Sean Tischler and everything he's helped us with, and getting our name out there, and dropping some love for the P3 all over the central Pennsylvania region.
And
Sean, keep on.
Okay.
Yeah, and keep on giving us love. We'll keep on giving you love, and yeah, check out the IWC Clearfield Facebook group for updates on future further IWC Clearfield events.
wow.
Back to you, Tom.
And you're either with Sean Tischler or you're against him. Anyways, I had to throw that in there. Go ahead. What's
no, Sean Tischler. Also, did we thank Gould Gaming for allowing our shirt to be over on Casual Gaming Dad's store?
Well, we can now. So thank you, Gould Gaming, for putting the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast shirts up in my section of the store. And thank you, as always, for these three schmucks bringing me on board, not only as a sponsor, but as the as the fourth member of this cavalcade of craziness. And by the way,
Yeah.
Easy, Morrow.
but listen, you
Cavalcade.
blustering, beefy, pressure cook buffoon.
Whoa. I think for
Yeah.
I think for maybe like roughly 10 seconds we should have a fifth member.
Who's that?
I don't know. Who is it?
Your girlfriend?
You used the G word. You shouldn't have done that.
Well,
Good job,
I-
Tom. Thanks, buddy.
I did.
Well, the cake is baked now.
As long as there's no bun in the oven, bake all the cake you want.
Oh,
Wha-
boy.
I love my friends. They're fantastic.
Listen, guys, I am legitimately concerned about Alec Ransom. We have not heard from him in several minutes. He may have stroked out.
Oh,
Ransom,
he-
are you okay?
Ransom, you there?
Oh, God.
Did he
Alec, are
leave?
you okay? Are
Wait.
you okay? Are you okay,
No.
Alec? Oh, he's here.
Ransom, where are you?
He gone. So anyway,
I wonder
back
if
to
his-
the old three-man show.
He burned it down.
I really hope we didn't make him that mad.
No.
Nah, he'll be back.
You sure?
He's here. He's just silently lurking.
He's feeling it up.
By the way, real quick, I just also want to mention that the four of us are now in the zeitgeist of the video gaming universe. We are uploaded characters on the WWE 2K20 game. So yeah.
Can
Look for
anyone
us.
download us?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
man.
they cannot. But they cannot alter us. So nobody's gonna give you like a giant dick on your forehead or anything like that.
Aw.
You're safe. Well, if you want me to do that in the game, I'll do it. I don't care.
I mean,
I
as
mean-
an
Yeah.
alternate costume, that'd be great.
You hear
But
that, Pat Shannon? You hear that, Pat Shannon? We're on WWE 2K20 now, so go out and get us.
Yeah, go-
So, is he a fan of?
I don't know. He'd be the only one that would download us, so you know.
Well, actually, my buddy Joey, I downloaded. Yeah, I downloaded him and I uploaded the four of us, and I told him, "Here you go, enjoy."
Nice. Well, then there's that.
So there you go.
Hey, Tom, before we move on and try and rouse Ransom from the depths and the din,
I'm not
listen,
rousing any man.
I want
If you motherfucking Mauro Ronaldo wannabes do not stop with the alliteration tonight,
Weren't
it's going to
you
be a long fucking
weren't
evening.
you
Listen, just
weren't you
because you can't alliterate, you fucking English major, I don't want to
I
hear
fucking
it. So-
can, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna.
Wasted talent. Wasted talent. Let's hear from the fifth member of this cavalcade of craziness.
I don't think I want to be a part of this.
There you go.
She's the smartest
gets it
one of all
already.
of us. She's the smartest one of all of us. She said, "Fuck this, I'm out."
I think she was just saying that directly to me, guys. I don't know.
Hurtful.
All right, I'm gonna go see her out. I'll be back. 2-man it. I'll be back.
Bye, Amber.
All right. Okay. All right. So, well, we're just you and I, Tom. It feels like Sunday morning all over again.
I know, right? Well, fuck it. Let's start with Saudi Arabia because that's the hot topic right now.
Let's start with Saudi Arabia. If anything's gonna bring Ransom back from the dead, it's gonna be Saudi Arabia.
Yep. That's kind of ironic. If anything's gonna bring somebody back from the dead, it's dealing with Saudi Arabia.
Arabian shows really fucking blow.
That was actually kind
Sorry.
of nice. No, that was
Thank you.
kind of nice. A little flat, but I'll accept it.
I appreciate it.
So is that what he appreciates about me?
Dig about 25% off our Tiger Bomb.
Never. You get a full 100% of Tiger uppercut.
100.
So Saudi Arabia. So there's a lot of shit going on.
There's a lot to unpack.
And a lot of it is all speculation at this point. There are a few things that are kind of being. I don't want to say. I don't know if it's reconfirmed by any one person or another, but it's more so like we're hearing it from a lot of multiple sources. I don't know if it's just one person just kind of reiterating and re-spewing out somebody else's bullshit. But you want to
So here are the facts that we know. Fact: WWE had a show in Saudi Arabia. Fact: most of them didn't get out of Saudi Arabia in time for the SmackDown show on Friday night.
Okay.
Fact: a lot of them went on Twitter and put fuel to the fire of what had happened.
Oh, also a fact. The fact that there is the WWE did have money owed to them by the Saudis for.
Is that a
issues.
fact?
Yes, because it came out in the quarterly report, and I was listening to Busted Open, and Dave Meltzer said something about that.
Okay.
So
careful now. Careful dropping Uncle Dave's name because you might incite Seth Rollins.
Sorry, Freudian slip. Not Dave Meltzer, Dave LaGreca. I'm sorry.
Okay. I was gonna say
Dave LaGreca on the Busted Open. I crisscrossed my wires there.
We don't want to be, angering the holiness of Seth Rollins. P-I-A-S-U Domine. So, and in fact, they talent had a meeting. Well, management had a meeting for talent on Monday, emphasizing the story that they're sticking to, which is mechanical problems, and apparently there was some big fucking rah-rah memo with Seth Rollins. But
let's not also forget.
Go ahead.
Also a fact that Vince McMahon, some of his entourage, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, Hulk Hogan, and Ric Flair, vamoosed out of the country on their private jets. Allegedly, no, this is allegedly before any of the Shatner could hit the fan. So whether it was mechanical problems or whether it was Vince McMahon and his high and mighty attitude towards the Saudis,
which I think would be the case.
Those group of people scurried from all accounts out of the country rapido.
So Vince has his own plane, obviously. Lesnar had a private jet, and that's actually the problems with Saudi Arabia started before the show, where Hogan and Flair were stuck in like Iceland and couldn't get out of fucking Iceland. Yeah, they could not get out of Iceland to Saudi Arabia, so Brock Lesnar in his private plane had to go pick up Hogan and Flair.
Oh
man, that fucking plane ride had to be the best plane ride in the world. You know? Can you fucking imagine it?
Now, did they say why their plane couldn't leave Iceland?
No. It's probably something like Hogan had to say something to the natives or something. Who knows?
But could it be ice,
brother? No. Iceland is actually very green, and Greenland is actually very icy.
I know, that's why I want. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Are you smarter than a fifth grader, first grade geography?
Yep.
I know, right?
I was hoping you would do that. There is another fact that the one thing I think that you guys had sent over the chat about following the historic Crown Jewel events, WWE and the Saudi General Entertainment Authority have expanded their live event partnership through 2027 to include a second annual large-scale event. WWE and the GEA, which is the Saudi General Entertainment Authority, so Saudi GEA, also continue to work towards the completion of a media agreement in the MENA region. This long-term partnership demonstrates their commitment to bringing sports entertainment to the region and supports Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030.
Hey man, I just set my car on fire. And also, would you like to drive with me in my car to the gas station?
Yeah, no shit.
So let me ask this, since we're probably gonna now get into the more opinion-based, speculative part of the Saudi debacle. Can WWE talent refuse to go to a certain country? Can they? Well, all right. I guess that's fair. I mean,
Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn have all said nope.
And
we ain't.
The only one that
said we're not doing it.
The only one that really got punished was Sami Zayn.
Kevin Owens kind of did.
I don't know that either of their punishments came from not going to the show. Sami Zayn's in the doghouse because he said AEW on live TV. Let's not fucking muddle words. I don't care, and this is a completely separate tangent, but I don't care who you are. He was getting a fucking red hot push, and he was on the mic, an open mic every single Monday night. He said the words AEW on TV, gone for 3 weeks. Then he had to eat a bunch of pins. Now he's back as like a sidekick. But I digress.
So, do you think, since you're kind of on the ball right now with it, beef, can WWE talent refuse, and what do you think the consequences would be?
Guess we'll see.
Especially if you have, because there's been a lot of, again, speculation. That a multitude of talent has said that they're not going back to Saudi Arabia. They will not do this again. They don't want to go back there again. So,
do we have a list?
If you have a show, oh my God.
At the very least, Luke Harper and Curtis Axel have tweeted out their displeasure of not being the hashtag top 20 that got out.
That's all I wanted to know. Ransom, I apologize. Continue.
I lost where I was going.
No, you said could people refuse going? And I just jumped in and asked if we had a list of people who were going and what the repercussions would be.
So to answer that, I mean, that's going to be more speculation, but I mean, right now we have, obviously 3 people who have said we're not doing it. Brian, KO, Sami Zayn have said we're not doing it. They have not been at any of the Saudi shows, either the Crown Jewels or Greatest Royal Rumble. Was Best in the World, was that a Super Showdown or was that its own pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia? I don't remember. They all blend together now.
Best in the World. When the hell was it? Was it? I don't even know.
Last fall, right?
That was Super Showdown.
Was that Super Showdown? Okay. So,
which was Australia.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think, and you guys are kind of dancing around it here. I think the next Saudi Arabia show, which if management was smart, would not be next year. Give it some time to let it cool off, and then revisit it. But I mean, it's quite possible that we could see superstars in mass saying, "Nope, we ain't doing it." And what are they going to do? They're not going to fire him because then they're going to show up on AEW on Wednesday night. What the hell is Black Alistair doing in the Impact Zone? So they're not. I don't know. They're not going to fire him, but to me, like, they're independent contractors, right? So this is basically them saying, "Nope, we're not doing it," which is against their contract. So,
see, now here's the fine line, because while technically wrestlers are supposed to be independent contractors, WWE, the way they work their contracts, it's some weird pseudo.
It's shiesty. It's shiesty as shit.
Yeah, it's some kind of weird in between where it's like they're not employees of WWE, so they don't have to, like, in the sense that WWE doesn't have to offer them healthcare and stuff like that. But then at the same time, they have all these scruples that these talents have to adhere to. Like, if anybody remembers, whenever Paige was actually still relevant and she wanted to get a new tattoo or something like that, like, she got chewed out because she got a new tattoo without their approval because it could mess up her image. Or whenever somebody,
fair,
like,
that was a tattoo for Alberto Del Rio, who left the country. Who left the company on bad terms. So,
okay,
there might have been more of a political backbone to that one.
No, but not only that, but then, like, Rusev got shit whenever he cut his hair and stuff the one time. Because it's they're changing
action figures.
They're changing up the image that what people are used to. That would be the same thing if Zach. I think it happened, or it may or may not have happened. Like Zack Ryder, if he dyed his hair blonde or something like that.
It did happen. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, because
shit like
because
that.
they have agreements. They have agreements with, like, toy companies, with, like, video game companies, and whenever the wrestlers change their likenesses like that, that's basically because they're changing their likenesses and they have, like, a brand new line of toys coming out, or a brand new game coming out. It's not favorable. And I mean, in high school, whenever I was in a play, I got shit for cutting my hair like a week before the play. So that's that's part of, like, the performer code thing. Before we start jumping in and kind of hitting this real hard, let me kind of explain a little bit more for people out there who may not be familiar with the situation. Long story short, and I'm going to try and long story short this.
Oh God.
Speculation is that the Saudi Arabia, actually, I guess the fact that's part of the quarterly report, The Saudi Arabia government owes Vince McMahon money. The money is up in the air, but there are reports that it could be several $1 million, between 30 and 60 million. So as a result, Vince McMahon, during the pay-per-view or during the event on Thursday, said, you know what, we're not doing any more Saudi Arabia shows. Don't pull the broadcast from Saudi TV, and left. Now, this was in response to the Saudi prince not meeting Vince McMahon face to face. So Vince left a little bit early. And then the recompense was the Saudi prince didn't like the way that Vince kind of handled his goons, to be fair, and didn't like the way that he was handling his business. So allegedly, the Saudi prince grounded the WWE talent, keeping them, on the tarmac for longer than they should have been, and then pulled them off the plane due to quote-unquote mechanical reasons. And the stories differ wildly. Carl Anderson's wife said they were basically held hostage in Saudi Arabia. People say that there were reports that a plane was sent to get SmackDown talent so that they could make the show in Buffalo, which, by the way, they didn't make anyway. But only like the essential quote unquote hashtag top 20 talent, and that's why you got guys like Luke Harper and Curtis Axel replying on Twitter that they're not in the quote unquote the hashtag top 20, and they were left behind. And then you get the report on Monday of Vince having this meeting saying, "Hey everybody, we just want to reiterate, it was mechanical problems, which is why you couldn't come home." Mechanical problems, and the pilots left, and some other bunk. AJ Styles says it's not a big deal. I guess he did some gaming thing, and he said it wasn't as bad as people are making it out to be. Again, I think AJ Styles is another one who's drank the Kool-Aid, so it's all speculation, but that's what we have heard. That's what we know to this point. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Ransom.
I don't know.
Great.
No, I mean that's a perfect reaction to have. I don't know, because there's so much bullshit going on. We don't know what's true, and we never will. But yeah, I mean it's fucked.
The only thing I'll say to it is, one, I don't think Vince leaving. I don't think. Now, granted, we shit on Vince McMahon a lot for being a money hungry, greedy old fucking lunatic that he is. I don't feel like that Vince, as a businessman, if he knew that the situation was going on that went on with the rest of the talent being delayed there, I don't think he would have left early or anything like that. I don't think he left early maliciously. I think he left and then shit hit the fan, and it was all because of a big fucking miscommunication. Now, if he was smart, he would have told the Saudis ahead of time, like, hey, listen, like, we're still owed money, like, we let you slide a little bit, but fucking time to pay up. So my own personal opinion moving forward is they should not do any more Saudi shows until they're caught up in payments. That's my own personal opinion. But hey, what do I know? If they're still giving him enough money, that's still a large amount, even though it's not the full amount that's owed, and if that's okay with Vince, then fucking he's gonna do whatever he wants anyways. But that's point one. Point number two is I forgot what point number two was. Honestly, this is fantastic. Shit. I swear it'll come to me, but
tag out, Poot.
Yeah, tag out, Poot. Go for it.
I'm gonna echo Ransom. I don't know. Like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I've been enough of an interrupting dick face tonight. You go ahead.
I'll play devil's advocate off of Tom for a second and say I could see what you said being a legit possibility. I could also see the complete flip side also being a very legit possibility, which is Vince McMahon is over there. He's asked to have a meeting with one of the Saudi princes about money. He's not given his meeting. He gets mad because he's Vince McMahon, and how dare you? And he shuts off a feed somewhere and then realizes, whether he realized it on his own or he realized it when his people who is actually in touch with reality tells him, hey, this isn't the United States. Like, you could pull that shit there, but this is Saudi Arabia. Like, they could have you killed. And no one would, and what's the United States going to do? Like, oh, it was a terrorist attack, or it was a something. Like, they can make up any story. Like, you're in Saudi Arabia where your rights and your laws do not apply like they apply in the United States. And I could see Vince McMahon pulling one of his Vince McMahon-y things where it's my way or the highway. And then someone realizes, oh, wait, we're in a country where there is no highway. There's only dirt and AKs. And then Vince going, oh, well, I done fucked, so I'm getting out of Dodge. Because at the end of the day, I am number one. And, while, people might say good things, the talent might say good things about Vince, I think what it comes down to it is Vince McMahon is number one. And I'm not sticking around after disrespecting these people and potentially risking a beheading. I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge. I could see Vince McMahon doing exactly that.
And that really, I mean, Ransom pretty much said it, because like Vince McMahon, especially at the age he's at, forgets himself, because how many people seriously in his career have gone to Vince McMahon and said, no? Like, I mean, not like a no, I'm not doing that. Okay, you're fired, bud. Or, okay, we're going to suspend you. Or, okay, we're going to give you a gimmick that's stupid or whatever. Like, he's always been able to throw his weight around. Always. And I think after he did this, because it's his, it's out of habit or, reflex that he acts this way and throws his weight around. It probably was after the fact someone in his entourage probably just went, Vince, can I talk to you for a second over here in the side room? Vince, what is that? So Vince, they won't let you leave, and they could kill you and all of us, and then what?
Well, and it's 100% Vince McMahon painting himself as the very picture that we paint him as, a petulant child who always gets his way. And you know what? Like, I'm gonna be as non-PC as I want to be, because it's our fucking podcast. He is in a fucking room with other fucking petulant children, like the fucking Saudi princes, who always get their fucking way. So he stomps his feet, they stomp their feet, and it's all about who can scream louder. Well, here we fucking are. But the problem is, they're world leaders. He's just a CEO.
Well, here's the thing, though. You're absolutely right. But Vince McMahon, like, I can't even like imagine what he thought was going to happen. Did he really have the grapefruits to think that Saudi Arabia was going to bow to him?
I did remember my other point now. And if he thought that Saudi Arabia was going to bow to him, he is sorely fucking mistaken. But just because
makes a wonderful point.
Just because they're paying him a shit ton of money doesn't mean they're going to bow to him, Like,
Pooh makes a great point. It may not be his fucking ego at this point. It may be the fact that he's an old man who is losing his, albeit tenuous, grip on reality as it is. So he may have just lost himself, lost his place, and just went into like Vince McMahon mode, and that was that.
Well, regardless, either way, the other point I wanted to bring up is we asked, could the talent refuse to go? Now, what I want to know, I'm going to preface that question with a question. Why, what were the reasons why Daniel Bryan, John Cena, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn refused to go? Was it because of they fear for their safety? Was it because of religious stuff? What was it?
So Cena was putting his career before WWE. He said, hey, because that was when that whole beheading thing happened with the reporter,
Yep.
and he said, "Hey, you know what? It doesn't make good financial to do this and get wrapped up in this, so I'm out." And I think Daniel Bryan was somewhere along that route too, because that was, I want to say that was before he signed his new contract with WWE. Sami Zayn made a choice not to go over for religious reasons, since he is, I think he is Israeli.
Okay.
And or of Israeli descent, and they are very much like second-class citizens in Saudi Arabia, or had been in the past rather.
I thought I read that Sami Zayn was a practicing Muslim.
That might be it. Might be Muslim. Thank you. And Kevin Owens went over, or did not go over, in support of Sami Zayn. So like for solidarity, for his best friend.
Okay. So my point is that I would think that even if somebody didn't have enough pull and enough sway within the company normally, like say you're Cedric Alexander or you're Humberto Carrillo or whoever, if they have like literally half the fucking roster say like we're not going to go, and they actually formed some solidarity, what the fuck would McMahon be able to do? Like you said, like you're not going to fire them, and you can't put everybody in the fucking doghouse, because who else are you going to have there to rise to the top over these people that you're burying because you got upset with them? So the key thing of it is, if the talent that's talking about refusing to go over in the future, if they're still around by then, because let's not forget, Luke Harper, at this point, Luke Harper probably gives zero fucks, because his contract's probably coming up, I would say, before the next Saudi show would happen. I would assume. I don't know.
It was supposed to be up in the fall, and
they tacked on
6 months.
6 months. So
okay, but even still, that would be before the next Saudi show, which would probably be in like May or June. Okay. In theory. Well, I mean, they haven't done many so far. When have they done all the Saudi shows? Summer and fall, right?
Right.
Okay. So going off of that precedent, Luke Harper, he's just gonna tweet whatever the fuck he feels, because they're either gonna use him, or they're gonna keep doing what they've been doing and just fucking keeping him off TV. And either way, he's probably already planning and got one foot out the door anyways, as it is. So to him, it's not going to matter. To other people that are still there, like your Mike Kanellis and whoever that are still there for a lengthy amount of time, the key thing would be for them to somehow unionize or whatever and be like, hey, listen, we're fearing for our safety. We see what happened last time. It's not good for business. It's not good for our own personal, health and safety or anything like that. We're not doing it. I mean,
Tom, you said the exact word that has to happen. That's been a long time coming, and that is unionize.
Union.
Like,
it'll never happen.
And
it probably won't. It'll
never happen.
Because the fact that most wrestlers are all independent contractors. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
here's the issue, though. There's always going to be guys who are going to cross the picket lines for their own gains. They say, for example, and I'm just pulling names out of the hat here. For every Shinsuke Nakamura who says, you know what, I ain't going, you're going to have an Andrade who says, you know what, I'll go. And then when it comes time for the pushes, you're going to look at the guys who are, quote unquote company guys who are going to do whatever they're told, like quote unquote, Andrade, for example, and you're going to put them in that spotlight. That's again speculation, but that's where my mind goes.
I can see it being that, and I can also see it being if there's a significant amount of talent that goes, you know what, it's not worth it. We don't feel like going, and Vince McMahon can't fill a show with the I hate to say caliber or quality, because I think Vince McMahon's vision of caliber and quality varies greatly between what general wrestling fans see as caliber and quality. But if Vince McMahon can't get enough of his Vince McMahon top guys to go, I'm willing to bet that Vince McMahon is going to go to where he knows, and that is the dollar signs. So he's going to say, okay, so on top of what we pay you in your contract, if you go to Saudi Arabia, we're going to give you a dollar sign bonus. And that may or may not work. I mean, some people might still feel the need to stand firm, but if you're let's just say, for instance, if you're a Mike Kanellis who is stuck in this long ass contract and is going nowhere, and Vince McMahon says to this group of people, I will give you this millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, whatever, bonus to go to Saudi Arabia and do this one show, maybe then it's worth it to some of those guys. I'm not saying that everybody is, driven by the almighty dollar, but it might work on some guys.
It might.
Well,
so that might be another way for Vince to get those people to go.
And to a Mike Kanellis who, you might eventually get Stockholm syndrome. You know what I mean? Like, you're stuck there. He's keeping you there. And he comes to you and says, listen, anyone who goes, we'll say $500,000 to anyone who goes and performs and chooses to perform, right?
Yeah.
We'll say $500,000. If you're a Mike Kanellis, you're going, that's as much or more than my yearly salary. Okay. Like, you'll just go, all right, I'll bite the bullet. I'm here anyway. I can't get out of it. Why not make some money out of it? And then eventually you kind of just get into the fact of, oh, okay, well, this isn't so bad. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe this is good. Maybe I can really make myself here, and fool yourself into thinking that you're making the right decision when in reality you're not.
Well, and the problem is that, and again, this is all, based upon what we hear, what we read. So none of us are in the locker rooms. We don't know fucking shit about how this company run or any other companies run. But if you believe what you hear, the quote unquote brotherhood of wrestling is very backstabby. People, like, guys literally walking on the backs of other guys to get where they need to go. Now, that's not everybody, and that was very predominant in, like, the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. So that culture may have changed, God willing. But I mean, that is still kind of in the air. So again, if you, and again, we'll use Mike Kanellis because he's an idiot. He's an idiot. Well, not necessarily an idiot, but he.
No, he re-signed that big ass deal. He's an idiot.
Well, okay, you know what though? Like, I can't. He had to think about his family, and you know what? Good for the dude. He put his needs of his family and his concerns of his family over his own career ambitions.
As long as it doesn't. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if I were given that if I were given that same scenario, and I mean, I work customer service, so yeah, I pretty much take high paying jobs that suck just to make sure that I can provide a nice life for my family. So like I get where Mike Kanellis is at. It sucks, but so good on him for doing that. But he's still an idiot.
Well,
my point is, we'll use Mike Kanellis here. So that you're not going to get used, but you have the opportunity to show Vince McMahon, hey, I'm a company guy. In addition to earning, X amount of dollars over your normal pay grade, you have a chance to show Vince McMahon, hey, I'm a company player. I can play ball. I'm going to be here for you, Vince. Vince McMahon is the kind of guy that remembers that. And even whenever Vince is gone, they're going to have his fucking head in a jar, just like Walt Disney. And he's still going to be pulling the strings for years and years and years to come. He'll outlive us all because the steroids will keep him alive, much like fucking Frankenstein.
WWE Plus.
Oh, God. Well, the last thing I want to say on Mike Kanellis is I hope to God that it doesn't ruin his happiness and drives him back into, and this is a serious note, I would hate to have him driven back into depression and alcohol and substance abuse and everything like that, because he struggled with it in the past. And that's a very, very dangerous thing to do, fucking with your mental health when you've had addiction problems and stuff like that in the past. There were a couple good things that came out of Saudi Arabia, believe it or not. And this is still perspective based, depending on how you look at things. But one good thing and we talked about this briefly the other morning, Beef, was the women having their very first match over in Saudi Arabia, which even though, yeah, it's kind of like, all right, you know, they weren't in normal gear. They were like in full body suits with like giant bed-sized t-shirts on. They still had a match, which is groundbreaking history. So in all sincerity, congratulations to Natalya and Lacey Evans on doing that, because who knows the ball that could get started rolling in motion from that. So yeah, I'll take the victory on that.
I actually read that may be part of something that was sticking in the Saudis' craw. Along with everything that, along with everything else, I read that might be something that was,
hey, they had to agree to it,
with them.
They had to agree to it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened, right? Because it hadn't happened before. So if they allowed it and then they got pissy and that was part of the problem of this whole fucking transportation fiasco, then that's their own fucking fault, and even more reason that Vince shouldn't do business with them in the future, because they're a bunch of reneging, assholes. So
again, man, it's a room full of petulant children stomping their feet and seeing who can fucking scream the loudest.
But anyways, so there was that one good thing that came out of it. Number two was that they didn't bury Bray Wyatt overseas, and they actually put the title on him. So hooray, which should have already happened, but whatever. And number three, that we actually got a decent SmackDown compared to the last couple of weeks, and Raw was actually really good this last week too. Just last night. Honestly, I will say the only negative thing I even want to bring up about Raw was the continued shenanigans of Lashley, Lana, and Rusev, because it makes no fucking sense of why, if Lana leaves a sex addict, that she goes and cuts all these vignettes where she's basically doing nothing but having sex with Lashley. Makes no fucking sense, no continuity. People had some delayed reactions, like botching moves, like getting raked in the eyes, and there was like a full second delay before it's like, oh, I forgot to grab at my face. Like, there's a few people that had some miscues in this in these last night.
Did you see that Charlotte hot tag?
Yeah, terrible.
That was
another one.
Worst hot tag I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That the Street Profit, the Montez Ford, like, oh shit, I forgot to grab my eyes, and then the Lashley crap, because that storyline makes no sense. It's not going anywhere. I have no reason to be invested, because then you add in Orton out of nowhere. I'm like, well, what the fuck is going on? This just makes no fucking sense. Other than that, Raw was actually good. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed seeing Adam Cole on SmackDown and Raw. And I don't know. We'll see what happens from here. I think part of that, the SmackDown at least end of it was, I think because of the Saudi stuff. The Raw stuff, I think, was kind of more continuing into the Survivor Series stuff, with Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT, which I think will be pretty good. So that's all I want to say about the weekly shows there. There's another big S word, steroids.
Before we move into that, let's not move into that just quite yet.
You're fucking on the interstate, man, just trucking along. Like, yeah, we can talk about how the shows went this week, because while we may not want to talk, step by step. Well, not necessarily Raw, but I mean, I think SmackDown bears some significance. But go ahead, Ransom.
But yeah, before we get into any of that, I do want to play a contrarian here and say that I will disagree with Tom on the one bright side he saw out of the Saudi show, which was Bray Wyatt. I think that's a negative. And the reason being is, not only was it a disastrous Hell in a Cell for Bray Wyatt, then you have the disaster of the, Saudi show debacle, but you have him win the title not on a big pay-per-view event, not on a Survivor Series or a Royal Rumble or, God forbid, a WrestleMania, where, in all honesty, that's where the big character should be winning the belt for the first time. you have Bray Wyatt winning the title at a stupid-ass Saudi show. If anything, that's where you should have pulled the hokey, dusty bullshit finish. That's where it should have been. It should have been at the Saudi show. It shouldn't have been on a United States pay-per-view. And Bray Wyatt should not have won his first championship as the Fiend on a freaking Saudi show. For me, that's a giant disappointment. You're blowing your load on such a popular guy, on such a popular character that you want to get longevity out of, that you want to have a future for. You're freaking pulling the trigger on a Saudi show. That's such a waste. That's a gigantic waste.
I think, if I may, I think the reason they did it was, number one, maybe they were probably trying something to send the fans home happy, to send the people that are watching that weren't in Saudi Arabia happy. Well, I mean, trying to make them happy as well, apparently. But it's the thing that frustrates me about it is that Ransom is 100,000% correct. It should have been done on a more appropriately, historically bigger stage. And it seems like the same thing of they placate these, calling it, I even remember when they did the first one, the greatest Royal Rumble. The greatest. And they touted the last show. You guys remember whenever they said, what'd they say about the last show?
Please don't bring it up. I may vomit it.
Something about it rivaling WrestleMania.
Rivaling or equaling.
Yes.
As good as or better than WrestleMania.
As or better than WrestleMania. Yeah. What a joke.
That gave me hemorrhoids just hearing that.
Could you imagine the NFL saying this playoff game will rival or outshine the Super Bowl?
Playoff? That's not even a playoff, man.
This regular season game. You better tune in. You better tune into this regular season game because it's going to rival or outshine the Super Bowl.
And
imagine
it doesn't. It just doesn't hold water. You can sit there and I could sit here all day long and say I'm 150 pounds. I'm 150 pounds. I'm 150 pounds. You add those three some bitches together, maybe it's true, but it doesn't. It doesn't hold water. You can't just magically say that something is as great as something historically beloved and revered, not just by fans, but wrestlers and people in the industry alike. Hell, even people who are not wrestling fans know what WrestleMania is. If you went up to them and you said, oh yeah, the greatest Royal Rumble, what are they going to do? They're going to look at you and go, oh, you mean the Royal Rumble? No, the greatest Royal Rumble. Oh, what are you talking about? The one in 90, blah, 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 whatever? No.
Yeah.
They're not going to get it. So that bothers me.
I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you, Ransom. It should have been a different way. But the fact of eating the shit sandwich that we got from that, I'm trying to take some sort of positive away from it, and that's barely what I can get out of it is those three things. But
Tom, I gotta be honest, man.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
I agree. It should have happened on a bigger stage. We should not have had the hokey finish at Hell in a Cell in general. We shouldn't have had that hokey finish regardless. They shouldn't have written themselves into a corner. We can sit here and they shouldn't have all day long, but at the end of the day, I'm happy. Let me put it to you this way. I agree with you that it should have been done differently, but would you have been more pissed off if they had Rollins go over Bray Wyatt clean or having the result that we got with Bray Wyatt winning the title?
Tom, I gotta be honest with you, man. I agree with these two moves.
Well, that was directed toward Ransom, but go ahead.
Well, I understand, but I haven't given my opinion. So I'm going to give my opinion before you ask your question. So I agree with the other two here. Not for Ransom's reasoning, though. No. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
The Fiend getting not winning at Hell in a Cell has taken a lot of the steam out of my excitement for him. I'm not super pumped about the title change. I mean, I'm happy it's happened for Bray, but like now the Fiend character doesn't feel quite as exciting, even though he won the title. Like I'm like, cool. So I mean, to me, they could have put the Fiend over Seth Rollins at Survivor Series. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the bigger venue, the bigger pay-per-view feel may have made it feel different. But I just like I'm completely deflated on the Fiend character. And I mean, good luck to Bray trying to bring it back into the zeitgeist again, because they did a pretty good job of forgive my pun, stomping it into the ground here.
Oh,
ew,
yuck.
Well, Ransom,
so yeah, I'll say.
My question is would you be more upset with the result that we got with Bray getting the title over there, even though it's not on a major pay-per-view, or, would you have been more upset if Rollins had retained?
I would be more upset if I'm more upset that things happened the way they did, as opposed to Rollins going over clean.
Okay.
And my rationale for that is, if you look at, again, it's hindsight's 2020, and you can argue that into the ground, but like this is my own, I guess, personal preference or fantasy booking. Call it whatever you want to call it. Call it this. I look back on the big stars. I look back on the stars that their names, even if you are not a wrestling fan. Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Rock. John Cena. Hell, nowadays people even know Batista because of the Marvel franchise. These guys lost plenty of matches before winning their titles, before their big breaks, before making it to the top. They lost plenty of matches. So I would be happier if Seth Rollins went over on Bray and then, do what you got to do until Mania. And that's where you have the Fiend go over Seth Rollins. Because, I think back on these guys' careers, like John Cena winning the title at WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels winning the title at WrestleMania, Stone Cold Steve Austin winning the title at WrestleMania. How different could things have been if it was, it's some random, like not even a Saudi show back in the day, but it's some in-your-house event. And for the first time ever, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeats Shawn Michaels at an in-your-house 98. Like, it takes so much gusto out of the sales. The Rock wins the first ever WWE championship at In Your House 2000 or at Bad Blood. These guys who have had the storybook careers, who have gone to the top and who have made you all the money. You look back at your giant money makers. These guys won their titles at WrestleMania, and I understand you can argue that, it doesn't really matter where they won it. They made the money and they became great because of who they were. Yes, that is true. But for me, your top guys, the guys that carry you into the future, you want to put that belt on them for the first time at your biggest show ever. Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, he won his first WWE title not even at a random pay-per-view in the United States. He won it at some stupid Saudi show overseas, not even in front of a U.S. crowd. This is where you're going to put the belt on the guy that you're so hyped up and you're so high on. For me, it doesn't do it for me. It's a letdown for me whenever something like that happened. Now, it's good that Bray Wyatt has the title. Maybe he can rebound from the Hell in a Cell loss. Maybe he can take it and go the distance. It's at this point, it's all on his shoulders to make it or break it. But my excitement, my sports entertained level would have been that much higher if it would have been at the Super Bowl of wrestling shows.
Now, how excited were you, though, in turn, that when Mick Foley won his first belt, And it was on a random Monday Night Raw.
That is a very fair counter argument.
Yeah.
For some guys, they don't have to win their titles at the biggest show among shows. I see the difference being in that was completely out of left field. People don't win WWE titles, especially for the first time, on a Raw or a SmackDown. That was a jaw-dropping moment. Holy shit! Mick Foley won the WWE Championship on Raw. Like, that was a jaw-dropping moment. So I feel like that's in a completely separate category all on its own. I feel like this Saudi show is kind of somewhere in the middle of, it's not your WrestleMania, but it's not also this jaw-dropping moment that, happened on a regular televised show. I feel like it's just one of those title wins that's going to get lost in obscurity. And that's what kills WWE characters, being lost in obscurity.
I'll say this, and it's the same thing I've said about Crown Jewel 1, the same thing I said about Greatest Royal Rumble and Super Showdown. They're glorified house shows. I mean, more or less, they feel like a damn house show. So this is the equivalent to winning a WWE title on a house show. And I mean, Ransom, it sounds like you're drinking the same gin and juice that I am, because, man, I was so excited for it. And we all agreed that it was too soon, but yet we all kind of had like childlike wonderment, because we were like, okay, well, you know what? It's going to happen. And then it didn't. And, it's just like getting a pair of fucking socks on Christmas. You're like, oh, okay. So, like, now, honestly, I need to see Bray do something. I need to see him, like, make something of this to get me back in. And I'm sure he will, because Bray Wyatt's a fucking master at what he does. But, creative the last 2 months did him no justice.
They done him dirty. They done him real dirty. But I will say this on the side of Tom is that while I'm not happy about where he won it or how he won it, like coming off of the disaster of Hell in a Cell and then winning at this stupid Saudi show, I am happy. I mean, it's happened at this point. So, whatever. It's happened. I'm happier to see what he does with it, as opposed to Rollins come out talking all stupid douche on the mic, wearing that stupid belt on his shoulder. I'm much happier to see what Bray Wyatt will do with it, because I'll be honest, even back in the day when beef was super high horse Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins is the future, the best guy ever. He's the superstar to watch, yada yada. Like, I was never super sold on Rollins, and that's my own personal thing.
You mean April? You mean April of this year?
Yep.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I'm much more excited to see what Bray will do with the belt now that he's got it. So that's true. That is something I'm very much looking forward to.
I'm on board with you on that too, and I will say that I feel, whether or not, I mean, obviously, we don't know how far out they plan their creative, but I will say, I know. Just hold on. I know. I gave everybody a good chuckle, but if you look at what happened on Raw with Rollins and the whole Triple H NXT thing, it wouldn't have worked if Rollins still had the title. You know what I mean? So, I mean, again, I'm excited to see what happens, and I'm definitely excited to see what happens with the NXT quote unquote invasion sort of thing going forward into Survivor Series. I think it's going to set up for some potentially really good matches. So,
I agree 100% on that. That you can't. I agree with you 100% on like that whole angle would not have worked if Seth Rollins would have been standing there in the ring with that belt on his shoulder. I don't think that would have. I don't know.
If they would have,
it wouldn't have had as much excitement. I think. I don't know.
If they would have, if they do have something planned for the Fiend, here's the big question, guys: what's the over/under on the Fiend losing that belt at Mania?
Honestly, I think he'll carry it until Mania.
That's the point. He'll carry it until Mania.
Roster beating him. Because the only guy I could see that would legit beat Wyatt at this point
Orton
would be Reigns. Orton's on Raw now, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is. I guess.
So Reigns is pretty much the only guy that I could see that doing that, and they know, based upon this fiasco with Rollins, they know what would happen if they put Reigns over the Fiend. So,
but they'll do it anyways, and they'll do it at Mania. That's what I'm saying. He'll hold it until Mania, and they'll do it at Mania because it's the big dog.
No, that's what
Tom had the hammer and hit the nail right on the head with that one. Because while you're right, Beef, that they, quote unquote, they know that if Reigns takes it away from the Fiend, the shitstorm it'll bring down as far as the crowd goes. They doesn't include Vince McMahon.
Ooh, and
Vince McMahon will see it and go, oh, yes. Everybody else around him will go, oh, no.
And don't forget, even though they know what would happen, look what happened. And I'll give a little bit of credit to Roman Reigns here. When he beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania and the crowd was shitting all over him on that next night on Monday Night Raw, calling him a fucking pussy. Like, literally, that was going on air and not getting bleeped out. It was going on national television, and you heard, fucking pussy.
Oh.
He just stood there. He placated to the crowd. He let them say their piece, and then all he said was, it's my yard now. And then fucking mic dropped out. So I'll give him credit. He fucking took the heat real well. I think he can handle it if that's the route they end up going. I think if anybody can handle taking the heat for being the one that dethrones the Fiend, Roman can do it.
But let me say this, though.
I don't want to see it happen, but
no, definitely not. But I would be more disappointed if Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, whatever, cleanly drops the belt at Mania to somebody as opposed to him dropping it at a different pay-per-view to someone even before Mania. While I think that is a waste, take it off of Bray Wyatt sometime before Mania, I think it's even a bigger disservice taking it off of Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania because that's where he should have won it in the first place. Now, pardon me. Now, not only are you going to have him win it on this stupid Saudi show, you're going to have him lose it at WrestleMania. I am, pun intended, 100% all out on the Fiend at that point. Like I'm giving up. I am done.
The thing that makes me upset. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like,
no, you're good. You're good.
The thing that makes me upset, and I have the same mentality as you, so I'm in the same ballpark. But it sucks. It sucks so hard that we have that mentality as fans where we throw the character and the person working such a cool character right under the bus because of booking. That's like the last vestiges of kayfabe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're willing to completely give up on a character. Sure, the mystique is done, but what else can he do? I mean, like you have to listen to your bosses. And if they say you're not going over, you're not. It doesn't matter if you go to them because you can't go and plead your case because if you do, what does it sound like? It sounds like you're just booking yourself to win all the time. Instead of going, no, people are going to be pissed about this and it's going to destroy my character. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I think...
Sorry.
No, that's why my point was that's why I asked you guys the question in the first place. What's the over-under on the Fiend losing the belt at Mania? Because honestly, the only thing that they could do then is have him carry it till SummerSlam.
I'd be. Well, I mean, look at Punk though. Look how long Punk carried it. There's no reason why you couldn't have the Fiend carry it that long.
Well, and look
especially if you're gonna.
Yeah,
exactly.
Had it for a year or two.
Exactly. Especially if you're going to do that character right, if you're going to do that character justice, there's no reason why they can't hold on to it that long. And while I say I'm all out on Bray Wyatt, I'm all out on the mystique and the aura surrounding the Fiend. You know, like when he came in, it was like this is a guy that you're going to be scared of. Like nobody wants to step in the ring with him. That's what I'm all out on. I'm all, like he's just like you can't build him in my eyes as this scary, horrific, dominant force. anymore. The mystique will be gone and worn off. I'm not all out on what's his real name? Wyndham Rotunda?
Yeah.
No, like I think he has all the brains and the talent in the world. But as far as the character goes, at that point in time, it'll be like, all right, well, you're just any other wrestler. You're just any other wrestling character to me. You know, like people were shocked when The Undertaker lost at WrestleMania. Bray Wyatt drops the title clean this year at WrestleMania. That's like, okay, well, he lost. So whenever he wins it back again, yay. Whenever he loses it again, okay, whatever. Like the mystique will be gone for me.
I get that.
It's funny because as we're sitting here talking, I see the match playing out in my head. Roman Reigns, of course the Royal Rumble winner, with like 8 spears and like 7 Superman punches, and like that's all the match is. You know, the match starts, it's a Superman punch, it's a Superman punch, it's a spear, 2 count. It's a Superman punch, it's a spear, 2 count. It's a spear, 2 count. It's a Superman punch, spear, it's a 3 count. Like,
yep.
Oh man.
Yeah. Something booked with that hokey where it's not even a close match. It's not even a Roman Reigns having to struggle and to dig deep down and to give it 100, like to where he is just flat out laying in the middle of the ring. He wins, but there's no getting up on the ropes and shaking your head and there's none of that. It's just you are spent because you had because you had this war. You had this war with the Fiend.
I saw the face when he did that, and it makes the perfect fucking sound effect for that face. I'm more okay with that at that point. When you paint the picture of Roman Reigns having to struggle and to give it more than he's ever given before to beat this Fiend, fine. But I could see it playing out exactly like Beef said. Yeah. Punch, punch, spear, punch, spear, punch, punch, spear, punch, end, up on the ropes, shaky head, big dog, my yard, I'm out. Big dog.
Boring. Single time, just boring. Stop it.
And the thing is, they're doing a good job keeping Roman away from that right now.
They are.
They're doing a very good job. And this is how you gain a groundswell, because people will slowly but surely go, hey, yeah, all right, okay. Like, they'll do that. And then...
But could you... Beef just... He touched on something and it just triggered with me now. That... Can you imagine the sea of boos that will echo through that arena if Roman Reigns wins another frickin' Royal Rumble?
Ooh.
Holy crap.
It depends.
What's going to happen?
Well,
I will make that prediction right now. If he stays healthy, he's winning this year's Royal Rumble.
Okay, now here's the thing. The chorus of boos will ultimately also depend on where the location is held, because let me tell you, in 2014, when Batista won the Royal Rumble, and that was CM Punk's very last match, when we all thought and wanted, the whole Pittsburgh crowd wanted Daniel Bryan to come out as number 30, and Rey Mysterio came out, we booed and I say we because I was there, we booed the fuck out of Rey Mysterio. I feel like depending on where the crowd is, you have those certain hotbeds like Chicago, Philly, Pittsburgh, some other areas like Jersey,
Chicago.
It's Houston, Texas. So we'll see.
Yeah. So I mean that's gonna play a big part in it too. Now, maybe this is a good segue. Speaking of big dogs and getting big.
Oh boy, here it is.
Fucking steroids. Let's just not dance around the subject. There's a certain Hall of Famer, fuckface superstar, supposed superstar, Billy Graham. Guess what? You're never going to be on my Mount Rushmore of fucking wrestling there, Billy Graham. So suck a fat one. I'm just gonna read this article real quick. Says this is what Billy Graham said. He took to Facebook saying that Adam Cole needs to do steroids when he posted the following. NXT champion Adam Cole needs to do steroids. Yes, fans. Once more, the superstar speaks the truth and is not afraid to tell the truth. I did indeed watch last Friday Night SmackDown and was very impressed with the technical skill of the NXT champ against Daniel Bryan in the main event. However, once again, we see a champion of a WWE brand who is smaller than most women on both Raw and SmackDown. Triple H, my dear brother, I am speaking to you now. What is it with such small champions in the WWE save Brock Lesnar? That is why Lesnar beat Kofi in under 10 seconds to win the WWE title belt back, because it would have been a farce to carry Kofi any longer, the very nice young man that he is. Damn, Adam Cole is so small. And that was a bunch of O's there. I'm not telling him to abuse roids. Just use them correctly to enhance your physique. Triple H will show you exactly how to do it, but just do it for the sake of your championship title. You should look like a champion. And then he goes on to thank his fans for their GoFundMe donations because he's had heart attacks and congestive heart failure. Hey, fucking idiot. Hold on. Hey, fucking idiot, superstar Billy Graham. Fuckhead, why do you think you've had congestive heart failure and heart attacks? Because you were using steroids, you fucktard. How about you go worry about yourself and your goddamn heart stents and heart valves and heart transplants and whatever the fuck else is wrong with your heart, and let Adam Cole, Bay, carry us into the future because you couldn't fucking do it over Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and anybody else back in the day, you schmuck. Fuck you.
No.
I
can't believe I'm about to use it again. Hey guys, my car's on fire. You want to ride? Oh, by the way, can you help me put it out? I just, oh my god.
This fucking.
Yeah.
Let's not gloss over how much dirt Billy Graham in this one post laid out there for the world to see.
Yeah.
So it's not, I mean, it's a given at this point in time that he's taken steroids, because look at the post. So not only that, but I mean, everybody knows because of the steroid scandal back in the, whatever years it was, when Vince McMahon had to go to court and Hulk Hogan testified against him. People know that WWE has had a history with steroids. But this guy is flat out openly admitting that, yes, WWE people have used steroids. They've used steroids to build their physique. That's not the right way to use steroids, Billy Graham. There's no right way to use steroids to build your physique. Stop it, for one. And let's not gloss over the fact that he pretty much called out Triple H for steroids because he said, Triple H will show you how to do it. Holy shit. You just called out the COO of this company for, there's no even reading between the lines, pretty much saying Triple H has taken steroids because he knows how to do it. He can show you how to do it. Holy shit.
Dude.
Somebody needs to freaking, what was that guy's name that killed himself, allegedly?
Epstein?
Yeah. Holy shit. Somebody needs to Epstein. Somebody needs to Epstein this dude.
Oh my God.
Vince McMahon needs to Epstein
guys,
this guy.
Here's the thing. This is natural selection at its finest. We just send all those steroids to Billy Graham. He knows how to take care of them. It'll work itself out. See you later, Billy Graham. No one will remember your fucking name in 10 years.
Yeah, how many championships did you win, Billy Graham? Go fuck yourself.
Speaking of like out of touch old men, this guy has no idea what wrestlers these days should be. He's so out of touch. He's still living back in the days of your champion needs to be this jacked up, muscle bound Hulk Hogan, Scott Steiner, Brock Lesnar looking motherfucker. Look at the talent of wrestlers these days who aren't Hulk Hogan style big guys. I can't even run down the list of them that have more talent in their little toe than Hulk Hogan had in the prime of his career. And yes, Hulk Hogan is, probably one of, if not the biggest names in wrestling. Yes. But talent, in-ring talent, nowhere near the caliber of the greatest wrestler ever. Now, and you want to shit on these guys for being small? Holy shit. Adam Cole has more talent in his sleep than Billy Graham ever had in the ring.
Adam Cole has more championships than Billy Graham, I'm sure. Let me put it this way. More WWE championships, because Adam Cole has been NXT North American champion, the inaugural. He's currently NXT champion. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Does Adam Cole get credit for the tag team championship?
Yep. Okay. Because he defended him with Fish.
Okay, so that's 3 championships already.
You mean
not to
O'Reilly?
count.
O'Reilly, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, not to count whatever championships he's won, because I know he's been ROH champion. Fuck it, I'll look that up while I'm at it too. You know how many WWE heavyweight championships Billy Graham has won? One. Fuck you, Billy Graham. 1. Adam Cole already has more WWE championships than you. So that tiny guy that's smaller than most of the women on the roster has won more WWE titles than you fucking muscle-bound freak. Go fuck yourself, you old fucking hag. Oh my God, I hate him. Fuck him.
These smaller guys who have all the talent, let's not also gloss over the fact that they can run circles around these muscle-bound, jacked-up guys. They can put on a half-an-hour match. Hell, look at guys like, and Beef, I hope your heart's in the condition to handle this, because I'm about to throw a compliment to Bret Hart.
Oh no.
Oh,
Look
God.
at the guys the size of a Shawn Michaels and a Bret Hart, who went a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Yep.
The whole match was entertaining. Yes, there were some slow points, but good Lord, these guys wrestled for an entire hour, an hour plus, because they restarted the match after the hour expired. These were not Hulk Hogan-sized guys. They were smaller guys who could go in the ring, who had the talent. And Billy Graham is so out of touch saying they need to be huge, they need to be bulked up, they need to be big guys. Yeah, if you want big guys to wrestle a 5-minute match with punch, stomp, kick, leg drop, you're done. How entertaining is that? It's not.
Can I just say real quick? I'm just scrolling through the Wikipedia section of the championships and accomplishments of Adam Cole compared to Billy Graham, and I had to hit the down. I had to scroll down like the big jump on my page like 2 or 3 times before I got to the end of the stuff with WWE that Adam Cole has compared to Billy Graham. So I'm not even going to go through it because it's so much with Adam Cole, but I mean, he's done shit in ROH, IWC, fucking every other thing. And he was the second ever NXT Triple Crown champion. So I don't think Billy Graham's ever been a Triple Crown champion of anything except sucking the D. So
this is the last thing I'm going to say on this tangent, and then I'll give somebody else a chance to talk. I promise. I apologize. I've lost my mind.
I know. I'm sorry. I had a lot of
trying to get in here.
I know. I had a lot of
this for like 10 minutes now.
I'm sorry.
No, it's no big deal.
I'm very sorry. I'll say this one last thing, and then I'm done because I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack.
Yeah, I'm done.
The size of the wrestler means jack shit. It means nothing. And I'm not. However this comes out, I'm not meaning for it to come out talking down on people. I'm meaning for it to come down on, elevating these people above these jacked up people. But you look at guys in independent scenes too. So I'm not taking anything away from those guys either. You look at a Jackson Argos, you look at an RC Dupree, you look at these guys, they're not Billy Graham size, Hulk Hogan size guys, but they're so much more talented in the ring. They're so much more entertaining. They have such longevity in their matches.
They can tell stories.
Because they're not jacked up, roided up, muscle-headed dum-dums who can only punch and kick and do a running clothesline. These guys have so much more talent, and size means jack shit nowadays. Billy Graham is so far off his rocker. He's so out of touch. I feel like him and freaking Jim Cornette could sit around a pool smoking cigars and just going, these guys need to be bigger. They need to be not so gimmicky. They need to be more like Smoky Mountain. If they only had some sort of jacked up tennis racket, they'd be the best thing ever. Blah, 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 blah. I'll kill you. just the worst. I can't. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry, Poot. I apologize.
Ransom's Cornette is by far the best ever. Go ahead, Poot.
Agreed.
Okay, thanks, Poot. Yeah, Poot, I'm sorry, buddy.
I can feel Poot reaching through the headphones to strangle Beef right now.
Oh, shit.
And I'm okay with that, honestly.
It doesn't stop.
He's so upset he's not even talking.
Mute yourself. Mute yourself. Mute. I can't even talk. Mute
I'm
yourself,
good.
Beef. Okay. Poot, please enlighten us.
Fuck you, Billy Graham.
Thank you.
Just actually, fuck you. Like, Ransom said it all. It first of all, it warms my heart to hear Ransom get that passionate about the fact that what we have now, literally, like, okay, everybody I talk to who is not a wrestling fan or is a lapsed wrestling fan, like I've said, look, and they say, oh, you do like a wrestling podcast, or oh, you still watch wrestling, or oh, I remember that Steve Austin, The Rock, right? And I go, listen, this is still, complaints, flaws and all, the best time ever, in my humble opinion, to be watching professional wrestling.
Agreed.
It is the best action, whether you go to an AEW show or a WWE show or an NXT show or some indie promotion in a small town in the middle of Pennsylvania. You will see the best wrestling with the best athletes out there. And the thing is, yes, there are guys that are floating around that are enormous guys that can go. I mean like go like cruiserweights. I mean, my God, on one end of the big guy spectrum, look at Keith Lee, for Christ's sake. On the other end of the spectrum, look at guys like Wardlow. Like, Wardlow can go. Like, and the thing is, the difference between someone like Wardlow and someone like superstar fuck bag of prison asses Billy Graham is
bag of prison asses. I love it.
Is the fact, and Hulk Hogan and all those other jacked up guys, was the fact that they built muscle and no flexibility whatsoever and no cardio. Like, that's one of the ways you get that big, is like you don't do cardio. You know what I mean? Then you and what they had was not natural. I mean, God, look at Scott Steiner. He's literally the poster boy for synth oil. Like, I mean, he just is. Like, I always wanted to like jump through the television and poke his biceps with a pin and just hear it go.
Like, wait, then you hear the Price is Right music. Bum, 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 bum.
Wow. Like that, you know. But then you see guys like Wardlow, who are natural. Like, they put in the work and the time and the effort.
Fuck Drew McIntyre, Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
You know, you see these guys and they can go. Billy Graham, I love how he doesn't acknowledge the fact that there are big, muscular, mean dudes who are doing just as good a work. He's just pointing out the look. A champion's not a look. A champion is someone who can stand in front of any crowd in the world ever and get them to say something and be on his side just by fucking being him, and his work rate and his charisma. Doesn't matter how many muscles you have. If there, it's kind of like having. It's kind of like taking a rock and putting a lot of icing all over it and calling it a fucking cake. Like, yeah, sure, it looks good. Then you get underneath and you go, oh, this is useless and stupid.
Four words that have gotten over more than Billy Graham could have ever hoped to. 4 words. You
Adam,
ready?
Cole, Bay. Like,
did you hear the pops that he got on SmackDown and Raw? SmackDown especially.
Yeah, they're both huge.
Fuck. Holy fuck.
It like, and it's the thing is like, that's the thing is that those guys have an X factor. They have that it. It's just something I remember the first time Beef told me about Adam Cole. I went and looked up his work in Raw. He came out, and he was when he was working heel and people were booing him and not doing the Adam Cole Bebe. He did that. And then watching him in his match, I immediately, like 2 minutes into the match, I was like, this guy is the next Shawn Michaels. Like, I went, people are going to be talking about Adam Cole the way they talk about Shawn Michaels.
They even referenced that on SmackDown. They even said, not to take anything away from Cole, but you could compare him to like a modern day Shawn Michaels. They put it out there. They put it out there.
It's there, and like,
but
like I can't. How do you? That's like, even if he never does get to the level of Shawn Michaels, the fact that people are comparing him to Shawn Michaels. If I don't know about you guys, if someone compared me to Shawn Michaels, I'd be like, I can die a happy man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
let's not belabor the point here either. I don't even know if Billy Graham believes what he's saying here.
He might just be a crazy old fucking bastard.
Well, I think it's an attempt to stay relevant. You look, and he talks about needing heart surgeries and GoFundMe them. By the way, if you had done a good fucking job, you'd save your fucking money that you got for being the fucking man and, not needing to GoFundMe, but that's neither here nor there. Clearly, the dude needs some help with his fucking medical procedures, which is a fucking shame in this country. But, irregardless, my point is that the dude needs to stay relevant. He needs eyes on him in order to
survive.
Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Ric Flair. They crawl out of the crypt every 3 years or so whenever something's going on. They're like, oh fuck, I need more money. I'm gonna be a Twitter tough guy. Boom. And then all of a sudden fucking guys on podcasts are talking about him vis-a-vis us. And it's a fucking shame the way that the fucking Twitter sphere and the way that the fucking social media networks work like that, because this dude deserves fucking piss all of our time. Fuck you, Billy Graham. You don't deserve any more of my fucking breath. You know who else doesn't deserve a fucking bit of my breath? Fucking Seth Rollins. While we're talking about Twitter tough guys.
Oh my.
Good segue. I was waiting for it.
I am at my I am past my breaking point with Seth Rollins. Earlier this year, like Ransom said, I was a huge Seth Rollins fanboy. I was excited to see him get the Universal title back. I thought it was a great move for Raw, and I thought he was the right guy to get it. Dude in your flagship, awesome. And then came the Will Ospreay tweets. Okay, take it back, champ. All right. We'll give you that one. And then came the fucking ridiculous Becky Lynch storyline, which, may not be on him, but I'm sure that he wasn't about to say, oh, no, I don't want to do that. And then came the fucking Twitter beef and his fucking, pot shots at AEW and things he said over the summer. And now he's talking down to fucking Dave Meltzer, who, like him or hate him, fucking Dave Meltzer's an institution. Just like Bill Apter, these guys are reporters. And they are who, and Ryan Satine's another one who we get a lot of our stories from, and who we get a lot of our media from. So they are fucking institutions. So whenever Seth Rollins calls this guy, I don't remember the quote, but it was at best a mediocre reporter, at worst an outright liar. That just makes my fucking blood boil. And I don't care if that's Vince McMahon using Seth Rollins' Twitter handle. I don't care if that's Seth Rollins being Seth Rollins. I don't care if this fucking Colby Lopez fucking wagging his little dick around. I don't give a fuck.
What?
But, dude, yes. So there was
continue.
that whole thing,
Colby
dude.
Lopez?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Real name.
Oh.
You guys didn't know that?
No.
Oh, sorry, I went too meta there. Yeah, Colby Lopez is Seth Rollins' real name.
Oh.
Well, it does make sense because it's well documented that he has a little pee-pee, so.
A very small penis. Anyway, my point is,
it's so very small.
My point is that the dude needs to fucking have social media taken away from him, and earn everybody else's respect back, because right now I have zero goodwill for Seth Rollins. I wish him nothing but the worst in his career.
Fuck.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wow. I got nothing to add on to that.
You were so high on Seth Rollins. Anytime one of us, me in particular, I was never high on Seth Rollins. I don't know why. He never held my attention. He never seemed interesting to me. And, I don't know. I always thought he was overrated. Anytime I spoke ill of Seth Rollins, it was You're crazy. He's the future. Look at him go. Rah, rah, sis, boom, bah. And for you to make this complete 180 on him, like, he has to be, like, severely douche cringy to
I think the
to
issue
make you go
is
this ham on him.
that he's become a bully. And, like, if it's one thing that I've had my fucking fair share with in life, it's fucking bullies. And I'm fucking done with that. And I think we all as a culture are. But, I mean, you know, he's kicking the little guy. He's kicking, you know, Will Ospreay, who's fucking busting his ass over in Japan to put on clinics. He's kicking, you know, AEW. Again, not the not-so-little guy, but the guy who's trying to make his way in life, you know. Fucking Dave Meltzer, who, you know, yes, Dave is an institution, but he's not fucking Seth Rollins. Like, dude, you need to take a step back and realize who the fuck you are compared to everybody else, and just do you, man. Like, it's the same shit. Like, there was a Browns player who, like, got into it with, like, fans and, like, had death threats and everything to reporters. It's like, guys, you got to realize that you're above this by your pay grade, by who you are, by being one of a select few individuals who can do what you can do better than anybody else in the world. You gotta, like, rise above this shit and not get in the mire. And Seth Rollins does a very poor job at handling himself. So I'm just done with him. I wash my hands of the man.
So I want to ask you directly, Beef, because you are so fired up about this. Do you, like, what is your expert opinion? Is it,
Quote unquote expert.
well, is it Vince McMahon feeding this through him? Is this Seth Rollins going, you know, completely butt egg and cheese for, you know, just to be like the company guy? And, you know, you talked about it before, you know, like wrestlers walking over the backs of other wrestlers to get ahead. Is this his way of getting ahead to show Vince McMahon, I am the WWE guy and I will go to bat for WWE and I'll shit on all these people, regardless of how, you know, small potatoes they might be, you know, in the grand spectrum of WWE, like the Will Ospreays, you know, or, you know, even the up-and-comers like the AEWs, like, I'll shit all over them for you because I am your guy. Or do you think it's Vince McMahon saying, Seth, I need you to tweet this. We're going to have somebody tweet this from your thing. You know, you're in the spotlight, so tweets coming from you, people are going to see it. Like, where do you feel like it's stemming from? Is it Vince McMahon directed, or is it Seth Rollins strictly trying to crawl up somebody's butt to be, you know, to be the guy?
I am going to paraphrase my good friend Tom whenever I say I've never seen a man who can so amazingly and so just it's astonishingly be a wonderful butt puppet at the same time be able to suck the same man's dick who has his hand up his ass.
Well, that wasn't me that said it. That was Ransom. And
was it?
How dare you?
Very much so. Very
Sorry.
much so.
Wait, I apologize, Mr.
Hold
Ransom.
on, Ransom. Would you like to take this one? Go ahead and say it.
I think this might have been before you got here, Poot. We were talking about Seth Rollins, and I said,
"Oh no, sorry. I was gonna go with the whole you're the worst beef." I was.
Oh yeah, you are the worst.
Well,
Okay.
But anyway, Poot, I think before you got here, Poot, we were talking about Seth Rollins, and I'd said to Beef and Tom that, you know, Seth Rollins is that guy that, like, Vince McMahon has his hand up his ass, working him like a puppet, while at the same time Seth Rollins has contorted himself over to suck Vince McMahon's dick. Like, I've never met a man who can contort himself to have somebody else's hand up their ass, working their mouth, while at the same time sucking that person's dick.
We obviously haven't hung out enough.
Speaking of, are you busy this weekend?
So to your point, Ransom, I do think that this is Seth Rollins being the company guy. I think that he's all in, and I think he's drank the Kool-Aid. I think that Vince probably feeds him a little bit here and there, but the more that I see of his Twitter and the more I see of his inane ramblings, the more I get the feeling that this is just who he is. Because if you connect the dots, and this includes the little escapade that revealed his tiny penis to the world, and his cheating on his then girlfriend with whoever, and those whole that whole fucking thing. The dude cannot control himself. The dude has it seems like he's got a temper, and he has a bad he has no filter. So let us remember that being the company guy has always worked in the past, i.e. Hulk Hogan being basically pushed out the door and having to go to WCW to make a bigger name for himself, i.e. Bret Hart, who had a multi-million-dollar deal pulled out from below him, i.e. Steve Austin, give us 3 of the best years of your life and blow out all of your knee ligaments at the same time, all over.
1 second. That burp sounded like a bucket of wet rocks being thrown onto a dog.
Wow. Check the chat when you get a second, and yeah, it definitely did.
Holy crap! You can't do that when I'm taking a drink because I'm going to suffocate.
The bottom line is the bottom line is that being a company guy for WWE is not a dependable job to have. 5-6 years you're in the spotlight, and then boom, they're on to the next guy.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, man.
Apparently, but I mean, he is. I mean, and I'm not the only one. I am, and I'm not even the loudest voice. I mean, a lot of us Seth Rollins fans have really kind of turned it off when it comes to him, because he has made a mockery of himself in the last 7 months. So it's sad.
Didn't you say at some point before we started the recording, we were just talking, that he either said something or tweeted something to the guys about, like watching your emotions or something, like after the Saudi trip?
Not tweeting your feelings about or whatever. Yeah.
He wanted them to shut up about the Saudi problems. He was basically being a rah-rah guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's being a rah-rah guy and saying, that they don't need to air dirty laundry out on Twitter and everything. And it's funny as hell coming from Seth Rollins, who no more than 24 hours later had that airing of dirty laundry with Dave Meltzer. So,
Yeah.
Consider the source.
Well, I'm sure we could sit here and be salty all night, but why don't we transition in hot tag trivia? And if you guys don't mind, I would like to ask Ransom this week. So,
Ransom, you got preference?
I'm cool with that. I'm cool. Whatever, man. I'm rolling with it. I got to calm down after that Billy Graham tirade, or else I'm going to blow a blood vessel.
Yeah.
Right.
Anybody else have a preference of who they want to ask?
I don't care.
Okay.
So I guess I'll ask Poot, Ransom will ask me, and Poot will ask you, Tom.
Okay. I'll lead this off asking Ransom there. This could be a softball. It could not. I don't know your knowledge of old school ECW whenever it was actually still good, but
yikes.
In the vein of this show being brought to you by the letter S, I'm going to talk about the franchise Shane Douglas, Pittsburgh's own. My question to you, how many ECW television title reigns did he have? And part 2, ECW World Heavyweight title reigns did he have?
Yikes. Fairly uncertain on the TV titles. That's going to be a guess.
Okay.
I'm fairly confident that he will... champion like 4 times. As far as television championships go, I don't know. I'm gonna 1, no, 3.
Final answers?
Yeah.
He was television champion 2 times, but you hit the heavyweight championship 4 times.
Okay.
So half a beef coin? I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll take it and put it in the bank.
Okay.
Who am I asking?
Me.
You. All right. I got to pull up my. I'm unprepared. I got to pull up my question here. Okay. We've touched on the Rumble Bumbles, just a little bit tonight. So, let's see. Two-parter, per the usual. Tell me who, and this includes any form of Royal Rumble inside WWE, who has the longest time spent in a single Royal Rumble match?
Daniel Bryan in the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Ooh. Chef. Good enough. That one came out quick. Damn. All right, so give me the top.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask real quick. Besides that
Rey Mysterio.
That's what I thought. That's would have been my guess. But okay.
All right. So, give me the top 3 guys that have had the longest cumulative time spent in Royal Rumbles.
Wow.
There should be an asterisk. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
Shawn Michaels is up there. I know that for sure. Kane has like a ton of eliminations, but I don't think he has a ton of time. Miz has been in a ton of Royal Rumbles. So I'm going to say Shawn Michaels, Miz, and God, the third one. So many names bounce around in my head. I'll say Shawn Michaels, Miz, and Kofi Kingston.
Okay, well, Miz and Kofi, no. Shawn Michaels is number 4 at 3 hours, 42 minutes, and 30 seconds.
How about Triple H?
So the top 3, and Tom, you are correct with that one. The top 3 are number 3, Rey Mysterio, 3 hours, 54 minutes, 16 seconds. Number 2, Triple H, 4 hours, 44 seconds. And I don't know how you didn't get this beef. Chris Jericho, 5 hours, 1 minute, and 30 seconds.
Asterisk, Curtis Axel never got eliminated. Axelmania, baby.
Oh, dear. Okay. So he's still going. He's still racking up time.
He still is.
No, they had a formal elimination the next year. Hashtag not in the top 20. Poor Axel. We could spend an episode talking about him, man. Fucking WWE. All right, Poot. Short and sweet. I talked about Survivor Series here a couple weeks ago, talking about how they were pretty straight on for a long time, where they were just like the Survivor Series style elimination matches. We'll be lucky if we get maybe 2 this year. So my question is, when was the first time the WWF title was defended at Survivor Series? Who was in the match and who won?
I'm not even gonna waste your time. Not even gonna waste your time. But dude, I have no idea.
Dan Spivey, final answer.
There was a shot for Dan Spivey. No, it is. It's not Dan Spivey. Anybody else want to take a guess on this one?
Could you give a year?
1991.
Oh shit!
Which is like the fourth year after its inception.
It was going for 4 years before there was a title defense.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
I don't know. Hogan and Balls.
Well, who was the champ in 91?
I just spit on my computer. Hogan and Balls. Shrunken Ronnie from all the steroids.
I don't even know who was champion
Hogan
in
and
91.
Superstar Billy Graham.
Oh. If it's Superstar Billy Graham, I'm out. Like, I'm done. How dare you be?
Thank fucking Christ it's not.
Was Macho Man involved in it?
It was no. Macho Man was not involved.
Was Undertaker involved in it?
He was.
Oh. Did Undertaker win it?
No.
He did.
All right, so Undertaker won it against freaking... Who was the champ going into it then?
You've already said his name.
Already said Hogan.
It was.
So it was
Yes,
Hogan
sir.
versus Taker, and Taker won.
In another much too soon title match, which they rectified like 3 days later at Tuesday in Texas, which was, another like house show title match changing hands. But yes, The Undertaker, after debuting just a few years prior at that same event, was given a title match against Hulk Hogan because he was, a legit phenom at the time. And, he beat Hulk Hogan in a title match. And then 3 days later at Tuesday in Texas, Hulk Hogan beat him back for that title.
Wow.
Was that the match where Ric Flair came out and slid the chair in and Undertaker tombstoned him on the chair?
Oh,
Or was that in a Mania?
Specific. No, I think that was that match. It was definitely shifty for sure.
Okay.
All right. Hit me with it, Poot.
Right.
Ooh.
So, we're going to talk about
getting-
someone who actually will make us happy. We're going to talk about Mr. Daniel Bryan.
Oh, good.
We're going to talk about Mr. Daniel Bryan. Now, I was mulling over what aspect to ask you. Like, I was going to ask about his championships and accomplishments. I was going to ask about all that stuff. Here's what I want from you, Tom.
Yep.
Why are you talking all sexy like?
Because I'm fading.
Sultry.
I'm really tired.
Because it's the letter S for sultry.
There we go.
Ooh,
All right.
bag of rocks.
Don't
That-
talk dirty to me and threaten me with a good time.
That was curry and seltzer water. Num 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 num.
Ew.
Oh,
So I want Daniel Bryan's real name, full real name, middle name included.
Oh, fuck. I don't know his middle name.
It's a good one.
Okay.
You'd
So
be
Vester.
dumb and or dumber not to get it. And I want his real name. I want 2 of the ring names he's gone by that are not Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. And I want, where is
I'm
it?
just gonna.
There it is.
I'm
And
just gonna stop you
no.
right now.
Hold me
Yeah.
out. I want one of the awards he got from Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Okay. Well, I don't know his middle name, but his real name is Bryan Danielson. I don't know his other ring names. I can't remember them because I didn't know enough about him in Raw or anything like that. So I don't know. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's fucking just wrap this up.
Okay,
Dan
Tom.
Spivey, final answer.
All right, I like it. Tom, you get a gold star. It would be Brian.
That's my go-to now for whenever I don't know something. It doesn't matter if
Dan
it's a year,
Spivey.
an amount. Dan Spivey, final answer. That's
Dan
my
Spivey,
that's-
final answer.
Yep.
All right. His real name is Brian Lloyd Danielson.
Okay.
That's why I said you'd be dumb or dumber not to get it.
Okay.
I see
Look
what
at
you
that.
did there.
Yeah. Brian Lloyd Danielson. He went by the American Dragon, Brian
Okay.
Danielson, Daniel Bryan, Daniel Wyatt, and Dynamic
Oh.
Dragon.
Okay.
And one of his many accolades that he got from Pro Wrestling Illustrated include Comeback of the Year, Feud of the Year, Inspirational Wrestler of the Year, Match of the Year versus John Cena at SummerSlam,
All
Most
right, we get it.
Popular
He's
Wrestler
good.
of the Year, Wrestler of the Year, and ranked number 1 of the top 500.
Nice.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Good
All
for
right.
I'm
him.
afraid I've got some bad news.
What's that?
Oh no!
Hot off the presses.
Shut up.
Randy Orton signs a new multi-year deal with WWE.
Yeah. Well,
That
you know
is
what?
depressing. Way
Wait,
to end
wait.
on a down note.
No. Oh, we're not going to end on that down. Fuck you, Blunder Beef. I'm going to end us with a bit of a swan song. So
Ooh.
sorry. I'm going to talk about real quick. I'm just
And
going
I'm
to
the
run
gimmick
down.
stealer.
I know, right? No. Hey, it's my first week back. Relax. No, I want to run down real quick what happened at IWC Winner Take All that just happened this past Saturday because we didn't really cover it on the Sunday morning show. But I'm just going to go through the results real quick. Bulk Nasty and Xander Gabriel, aka Steak and Eggs, they defeated the Regulators, Chris LaRusso and Jock. I don't know if this is a typo, Jock Sampson. Anyways.
No, that's his name.
Okay, Dylan Bostic and Jimmy Nuts wrestled to a no contest when Jimmy Nuts suffered an injury during the match. Didn't he just come back from injury?
I believe so, yes.
Is this a storyline injury or a legit injury?
I don't know.
I think it's legit.
Oh, that sucks.
I don't know. I hope not. But anyways, Johnny Patch beat Mandime to retain the IWC Super Indie Championship, which afterwards, the match, Patch was attacked by a man who resembled Gory. So stay tuned for that info. Jack Pollock beat RC Dupree. Brian Cage beat Andrew Palace. Lebanon Dawn defeated Jimmy Vegas via countout. After he once again paid a large sum on cash to his opponent to take the initial countout. After the countout, a quote-unquote man in a Jimmy Vegas mask left the Dawn laying in the middle of the ring with a cha-ching slam. So, Team Arquette, which was Katie Arquette, which apparently she worked at our other Massage MV in the South Hills area. So, hooray. Katie Arquette, Spencer Slade, and Zach Nystrom defeated Team Twerk, which was Ray Lynn, Calvin, and Mambo Italiano. So now because of that, Katie has officially earned a rematch for the IWC Women's Championship, which I'm guessing will happen here in December. Sean Phoenix pinned Atticus Cougar. After the match, the Culmination attacked Phoenix and challenged him to a stretcher match on December the 7th.
I love the Culmination.
I do too. I hope I get a chance to see him here in December. The North, which was Josh Alexander and Ethan Page, defeated the main event, Duke Davis and Gannon Jones Jr. in a winner-takes-all tag team title match. The North retained their Impact World Tag Team Championships, became new IWC Tag Team Championships, but that night they actually were challenged by the Regulators, Chris LaRusso and whoever else I said. So look for that match here coming up in December. Yeah. And then the era of Argos still remains. Jackson Argos beat Rhino to retain the IWC World Heavyweight Championship. But after the match, there was a brawl that broke out. And so now that's setting up Argos and Jack Pollock for December here. So
that should be a good one.
Yeah.
Dude, the champ fucked him up. Like, Pollock has posted pictures on Facebook of like the Singaporean King shots he took.
Oh yeah, I seen it.
That'll be a good match. I'm hoping that's not going to be the end of the era of Argos, but storylines being what they are, Pollock would be a fitting dude to take the title from him.
Also, Tom, that's Mr. Nossaris to you.
Mr. Nossaris. And if you guys haven't gotten a chance, check out the vignette that Jackson Argos did before his match against Rhino when he went to the Pittsburgh Zoo. It was pretty funny, I think.
Oh yeah, that was quite entertaining. Yeah. Oh dear Lord.
And it is worth noting that and I'm going to throw Imagine Wrestling some love too. They have a show coming up on November 16th. Featuring much of the same guys that we give a lot of credit to on the show. The Lebanon Dawn is making his debut against Zach Nystrom. Sean Phoenix is making his return to Imagine. Jimmy the High Flying Hippie will be there. Officer Dan Murphy, part of the Regulators, will be there as well, making his debut. And then you'll have Spencer Slade versus David Lawless. And then the main event will be the Mandime versus the heir apparent Chris LaRusso for the Imagine title. So this is the Imagine Wrestling's fan appreciation show. So all tickets are $10. So get out there November 17th at the I believe it's the Juniata Civic Center. And I may be wrong about that, but yeah. So 206 West 12th Street in Altoona. So yeah, get out there. That's what the 16th is. I'm not looking at a calendar, so maybe
the 17th.
Sorry, 16th. So it's volume 7, so I may have just saw the 7 in there.
I wish.
So yeah.
I wish I could make that show, man, but I got a gig.
Imagine's got a show on the 16th, and then the second annual Pittsburgh Classic IWC on December the 7th, I believe. So that'll be another great show from them. So again, get out there, support these indie shows, and enjoy it because these guys are pretty awesome.
Stop watching Seth Rollins garbage and watch some of this actual entertaining stuff.
Turn it off!
Up yours,
All
Billy
right.
Graham.
Now, real quick, since we didn't get to predictions tonight, we're going to do those later this week. So everybody stay tuned for that on the Facebook page whenever we post our own individual videos of our picks for AEW Full Gear, which is coming up.
Which, by the way, looks like a great fucking show coming up this weekend.
Which, by the way, is so great to get interrupted on. I really feel your pain, Ransom. Jesus Christ.
Cry me a river. Cry me a river. Jeez.
Trying to end on a high note and fucking beef blusters it. My God. Anyways.
What the fuck just happened?
I have no idea.
Did someone just run over a skeleton with a tank?
That's awesome.
I literally heard Ransom spit out his drink.
Fuck you, Poot. Why? Why do you have to do that?
Oh man.
I'm drenching it now. Damn you.
Everybody stay tuned to the Facebook page for our predictions on AEW Full Gear, which is happening this Saturday and November the 9th. And I don't think there's really anything else to say except let's thank the sponsors and get the hell out of here. Who's going to thank the sponsors?
Thanks so much. I got it. Thanks so much, Mr. Tiger.
Uppercut.
No. Wow. Okay. Fine. Fuck you then, Tom. Fuck you. No thanks to you. But I will thank Casual Gaming Dad's Corner on Facebook for being a wonderful sponsor, but not you, Tom. Fuck you.
Or you can thank the actual page itself.
And I will thank Sean Tischler and his support. We would never say bad things about you, Sean, unless you don't get your website up and running again. So but
multi-family garage sale with a live sex celebration.
I think what we're all really trying to say is we appreciate you guys listening to us. So for the Madman Alec Ransom, for your reigning, defending, etc. Poot the Bard, and Tiger Bomb Tom. This is the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast saying fuck you, Bill and Graham.
Wow. Motherfucker.